Hello, this is Japanese lesson 3. Today's topic is noun and numbers. How we can make the different numbers of noun, and why I made this topic separately whole lessons, because there is good news and bad news in Japanese nouns. I'll tell you. So good news is in Japanese we don't have any singular or plural, so which means that because in English if the object is one or two, then the noun changes slightly, ending of the noun or sometimes completely. And we don't have any gender. In many European languages have gender in each noun, which is paying to memorize whole genders in each object, but we don't have it. So our noun is always the same shape no matter how many. So apple is apple always, no matter if it's an apple or two apples. In English like this, that you have to put s in the end. The bad news is, so instead we don't change noun, we change the numbers comes before, so the counting changes depends on the object. This is one of very unique thing of Japanese language. So if you're interested in the character of the language, this is one unique thing. Though I think it's difficult to understand what I mean now just by telling you this. So I will show you the examples. So this is example in English that the number 1, 2, 3 is always, well, one changes to an, but so one apple is an apple, and then two apples, three apples. So the number is same as the original number, but the noun changes slightly. And this one is regular, just you add s, but in some cases it changes irregularly. So leaf is a leaf, and then two leaves, three leaves. F changes to VE, and some other things like elf or wife. But so in Japanese it always will be the same. So now I will show you the Japanese. This is example in Japanese. So first of all, how we say numbers plus nouns. In English it would be like number plus noun, but in Japanese it would be like this. So noun of numbers. So we would say like apple of one means an apple, and because in Japanese the order goes opposite, so eventually numbers comes first, but the meaning of or the style of noun would be like using of always. So it's like apple of 1, apple of 2, apple of 3. And this is numbers, the original general number. 1, 2, 3 in Japanese is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3. And Ringo is apple. So apple in Japanese is Ringo, and then but here you can see that 1, so this 1つ means 1, but it's different from the original one. Like this first one is like general numbers, which means like you use in the mathematics or like as pure number. But if it's with nouns, the number changes. So this is what comes with Ringo. So the first one, an apple, 1つのリンゴ、1つのリンゴ、and 2つのリンゴ、2 apples, 3つのリンゴ、3 apples. So here the ringo is apple, and no matter how many numbers, the ringo doesn't change, it's always ringo. But so instead the number changes, 1つ、2つ、3つ. So this is what used for like general object, 1つ、2つ、3つ. And let's see other things. So we had the example of leaf. So here we have a leaf in Japanese is Happa, Happa. And the numbers comes before Happa changes like this. 1枚の葉っぱ、2枚の葉っぱ、3枚の葉っぱ。So now the number changed even from the Ringo. So 1枚、2枚、3枚 is the counting for leaves. So you can see that the numbers, so for 1 is already like 3 different style. So the pure number is 1, and for apples 1つ, and for leaf is 1枚. So 1, 1つ, 1枚, 3 different way of 1. And so depends on the object that we have to change the numbers, which might sound a bit weird for who are used to like English or other like European languages, but which means you have to memorize the each counting for each object. And fortunately it's not like each single possible object have different counting, but depends on the like category or the shape of nouns that the counting changes. And here's just example of 3, but of course it changes for all the numbers. And there are some general rules, so it's not like you have to memorize everything from scratch, but I will show you more examples. It's not enough to show what I mean. So here we got 4 different nouns. This looks awful, like when you see a whole different counting, but we have to do it like one by one if you want to learn Japanese and speak natural. You can still survive speaking Japanese by like using normal numbers, but if you want to go for like natural Japanese, then this is something important that, you know, it just sounds wrong like if you use the different one. So I will introduce you some of the, just 4 today because I don't want to confuse you. So let's go for the basic numbers in Japanese from 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the basic like normal pure numbers which you use for mathematics and things like this. Yeah, like it's not that useful like because you can't use this object. So let's see other things. The general one that I used for apple, but yeah, if there isn't like, I don't know, if it's like it's difficult to say which is which, but yeah, general like basic one of counting is this 1つ、2つ、3つ、4つ、5つ. So for apple was Ringo. So 1つのリンゴ、2つのリンゴ、3つのリンゴ、4つのリンゴ、5つのリンゴ. So like from what we learned, you can say like if I have 2 apples in my hand and I can say これは2つのリンゴです。これは2つのリンゴです。So the next one is flat shape. So it's depend on the shape or category. So flat thing like leaf, plate, sheet or paper would go with 1枚、2枚、3枚、4枚、5枚. So 1枚, maybe I should introduce those 4 nouns. So leaf as Happa, plate like dishes is Osara, and sheet like the bed sheet is Shi-tsu, and paper is Kami. So 1枚の葉っぱ、2枚のお皿、3枚のシーツ、4枚の紙. But so as you see, that nouns doesn't change. So once you learn the noun, you always can use it. That's good news, but you have to memorize those numbers. But here you can see that it's just the basic number plus my. So it's not always like the numbers change completely, but sometimes you just have to add something after the number. And for the next one is person. It's important, isn't it? So one person is 1人, and 2, 2人, 3人, 4人, 5人. So let's ask So how many teachers you got in class? 先生は何人？先生は何人ですか？ So 何人 is how many person. 先生は何人ですか？先生は2人です。Like my class got 2 teachers. I don't know, in some primary school. 1人、2人、3人、4人、5人. So here you can see the same again here that you just add 人 after numbers. So it's often tend to like until 3 that you have irregular countings. Usually after 4 is like regular changing. What you have to memorize is this like ending, but sometimes you have to memorize the other types. Okay, let's go for the next one. It's like stick shape. If it's like long thing. So 1本、2本、3本、4本、5本。1本、2本、3本、4本、5本。So example is bottles, like water bottles or alcohol, whatever. So like, can you go for buying beer? And then, okay, how many? You can say 2本。2本お願い。お願い is like please. お願いします or お願い for short. So 2本お願いします is 2 bottles please. So, oh, by the way, beer in Japanese, I think many people want to know. So beer in Japanese is biru, biru. So stick, like, yeah, because it's stick shape, so normal, like stick. Like, yeah, the wooden stick, or pencils. Pencil is Enpitsu. I don't know why, but also for some like episodes, like DVD films, often go with hon. I don't know why, like this one is weird, it doesn't make sense, some doesn't make sense, but like, oh, how many, like, I watched a lot of films last night, and oh, how many did you watch? 5本見たis I watched. 5本 can be also for like episodes or like numbers of entertainment. So here is example of 4 different nouns, and apparently there are like tons of countings even Japanese doesn't know. So it's like common quiz on TV shows, like TV quiz show that, okay, so what is the counting for this specific object? So there are a lot of like weird countings even like that we would never use. But yeah, there are, you just have to memorize, unfortunately. There are some rules as you see, but yeah. I don't know, why do we do this like inefficient stuffs? Yeah, well, it's the language. Like language always have some inefficient elements because yeah, that's the like difference of each languages. It's difficult to say why we have this. So because it's by category that we change the countings. So even before you say nouns, that we roughly can know what the noun comes after. So you even doesn't have to like say exactly but like what you need, like, or what you, I don't know what you want to say, but yeah, often that you just know like what you are talking about roughly. So yeah, if you use, maybe you'll find why that we use this, but yeah, this is just one thing special in Japanese, so I took time just for these nouns. But yeah, just don't be afraid, but try to memorize. If you enjoy the different things of each languages, I think yeah, this is one thing you can enjoy. So thank you, I hope you enjoyed, so see you again. またね。